So, hola a todos. So today we're doing another live lesson here. So today, in the past, we have done lessons for presenting yourself and asking questions to a language exchange partner, a native speaker, and to introduce yourself, talk about where you are from, talk about your interests, your likes, whether you have family, brothers or sisters. So today we're going to be talking about people in the third person, he, she, and describing those people, what they like to do, how old they are, where they're from, etc. So once you say that you have a brother or sister, or you have a friend, you can start describing them in the third person. So I'm going to do a screen share here, and I see there's one of my students here. So hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola.
So thanks for joining. ¿Cómo estás?
Estoy bien, gracias. Can you hear me?
Muy bien. Yes, I can hear you very well. Thanks. Okay. So I'm going to put the screen here. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Yes.
So we're going to go through some vocabulary here for like the family and friends. So this Spanish is in this column here. So I'll say my husband, mi marido, my wife, mi esposa, my son, mi hijo, my daughter, mi hija, my brother, mi hermano, my sister, mi hermana, my boyfriend, mi novio, my girlfriend, mi novia, my father, mi padre, my mother, mi madre, my friend, a male friend, mi amigo, and my friend, a woman, a female friend, mi amiga. So as you notice, this my form, me, does not change for masculine or feminine. It would only change if it were plural or singular. So if it were in plural, it would be mis, and if in singular, mi. So in other languages, it does change, as you can see, for Italian or French or German or Russian, you would have a change of this form. But like English, the word my and me in Spanish and English does not change if it's for masculine or feminine. Also notice that the H at the beginning of like hijo, hija, hermano, hermana is silent. We don't pronounce the H sound. So we just have this E sound, the hijo, hija, or the E sound of hermano, hermana. So that doesn't change. Generally, for most of these words, the letter O is for a masculine form and the letter A is for a feminine form. So we see that for hijo, hija, hermano, hermana, novio, novia, amigo, amiga. So those are some general trends with these nouns and using this adjective for me. Okay. So once we want to start introducing these people, like pointing to somebody next to us or in a room, if you were at a party, or showing a picture if you're on the internet or something. So you could have este es mi hermano, esta es mi hermana, esta es una foto de mi hermano, esta es una foto de mi hermana. So using este is a way to say like this person, masculine, este es mi hermano, and esta, so the feminine form with the A, esta es mi hermana. So you may also see the word like está, like E-S-T-A with an accent. That is actually different from this one of esta, because with E-S-T-A with an accent, that's the verb estar, to be. And this one, esta, with an accent on the E at the beginning, is a demonstrative pronoun. It's saying like this thing, this person is my sister. So, and you could swap any of these nouns of mi hermano, mi hermana with other nouns in this table. Just make sure that you make a change between este for masculine and esta for feminine. And in this case of using a photo, the photo is a feminine word, so we're using está. So any questions so far there?
No.
Okay. So moving on here, once we are talking about who these people are, we could talk a little bit about their likes, their interests. So this is a passive form and not an active form like in English, where I say he likes to read or she likes to travel. So like is active in English, but here it is passive in Spanish. So we can use a él le gusta leer, or I could just shorten it to say le gusta leer. So I may not necessarily need this a él. If the context was not clear and I have to specify who I'm talking about, I can use a él or a ella. So a ella le gusta viajar, or just simply le gusta viajar. So if you compare this to Italian or Russian, this would be a passive form, like a nravится or a piace. And in this form, using gustar or even encantar, like to love, like a ella le encanta viajar, so she loves traveling. So I could change this back to encanta viajar. So that'd be a stronger form than just like. So, and asking a question, ¿qué le gusta hacer? This a él, we can include that if the context is not clear in specifying who are you talking about, or I could just use if the context was clear, I could delete this ¿qué le gusta hacer? So once I establish that I'm talking about my friend or my brother or my sister, I may not need to specify this a él or a ella for that. So these forms would be a little bit more precise, a little bit more technically, grammatically correct, but in general, you could use this le gusta, le encanta on those. Okay. Any questions about the structure or the usage then?
No, everything is pretty clear.
Cool. Okay. And getting on to the next point here. So where people are from. So we can say él es de or ella es de. So using the verb ser, so which is a bit more of a permanent, like an origin. El este, el este. I could also use like a verb venir. Él viene. Él viene de. And ella viene de. So those are also possibilities, and we have seen that in other languages as well, that you do have some variety, some possibilities to say somebody's origin or where they come from. We can also use a de donde es él. The él would be, again, if the context was not clear, I would specify él, but if it was established that I was talking about a certain person, I could just use a de donde es or de donde viene. So I could use that as well on here for the Spanish. So de donde es ella, or de donde es, or de donde viene. And when I want to talk about where somebody lives, I would use probably the verb vivir, vive. So él vive en, and then probably the name of a city. Él vive en Madrid, or él vive en España, or ella vive en la Ciudad de México, or ella vive en México, or ella vive en Peru or Colombia. So any other Spanish-speaking city or country, for example. And donde vive él, so I can ask where that person lives. And again, I could just drop the él or ella if the context was clear, and I could just use donde vive, which would be the same for he or she. So generally, Spanish, because the conjugations are more easily recognized for the sound, we usually don't have to specify the subject pronoun. So usually the subject pronoun is usually dropped And I think that's called a pro-drop language in some of the technical grammar books. So Spanish generally doesn't use the pronouns unless the context was not clear who you were talking about. So you can say viene, vive, es, once you know who you're talking about. Any questions?
Yes, actually, these two types of questions, de donde es and de donde viene, they mean one meaning, and at the same time, we can ask both questions when we mean different things.
Yeah, we could use maybe someone's origin, like their nationality, and maybe where like come from could be it could be a region, it could be, what else could you say? It could also be an origin, like if you were talking about a product, like if you were talking about an it thing, like right now we're talking about people, but in terms of a product, you could say like you could use de donde with de donde viene, like paper. Whereas paper, like what is the origin of paper? Okay, paper comes from trees, so you could use this in that kind of a context as well. But those two are basically synonyms of how somebody is kind of where they're from or where they come from.
Okay.
Okay. The next part here, talking about if somebody is married. So this is using the verb ser. So él es casado. Ella es casada. So casado is o with a at the end is the masculine form, and a is the feminine form. So es casado, es casada. Él no es casado, or just simply no es casado if you want to, like if the context was not clear, specifying the subject pronoun here. And ella no es casada, or just simply no es casada. You could also use like es soltero or es soltera, and that would be like a bachelor or single in terms of not married. And okay, and also on here, talking about if somebody has children, or you could also expand this to brothers and sisters. So él tiene dos hijos, ella tiene dos hijos. Question here, tiene hijos, which would be the same unless I specified él or ella. And no tiene hijos, or él no tiene hijos, ella no tiene hijos. So, and I could switch these to hermanos, or what else? Amigos. In general, when we use this hijo and then s, this masculine form in a plural, it's generally used as a either all male group, like only men, or it could be a mixed group. So it could be men and women. So this case of children is vague in English. We don't know if it's two boys or two girls or a boy and a girl. And in Spanish, we don't know that as well. So this dos hijos, that could be two boys, that could be a boy and a girl. We do know it's not two girls, because if it were two girls, it would be él tiene dos hijas. So if it is a feminine group, like all women, all girls, you would use the feminine form in the plural. But if you use the masculine form in the plural, it's either all men or mixed for that. And that applies also for brothers and sisters. If you just use hermanos, it could be brothers and sisters, or it could just be all brothers. If you're only talking about sisters, it would be hermanas. So that works with other family members as well. And if you don't know the word for child, I would recommend looking at for example here, an example like brother. I would look this up, let's say English Spanish on this website, wordreference.com. That's one website that I like to use here. So male sibling, brother, hermano. And if for some reason I didn't know how to make this plural, Spanish is generally just added the letter S. There aren't too many changes usually, but you have an example sentence here. I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. Tengo 2 hermanos y una hermana. However, today we're looking at the like he, she, it form. So tiene 2 hermanos y una hermana. And I could go to this website, Wiktionary.org, and I could put in this form, hermano. And if for some reason I didn't know the plural, I could see it here. Well, that's Portuguese, but here in Spanish, hermanos, and in the feminine form, hermano, hermana. So I could have brother, sibling, and then there might be some usage notes saying, like I was just explaining, that the masculine is usually as a group of males or a group of mixed or unknown gender, and the feminine. So this could be either one female or a group of women. So that's the same usage note there. And okay, so and if you want to see some more sentences in context, I might use another website here like Lingue, linguee.com, and I would switch this, let's say, to English Spanish, use the word brother, and I could get some example sentences of I have a brother and also a sister. So tengo un hermano y también una hermana. So también is also. Or I have 1 sister and 2 brothers. So tengo una hermana y 2 hermanos. Today we're looking at like tiene, so he, she has, more than just the I form. But you can also see other examples here, like hermano mayor, like an older brother, or little brother, menor, hermano menor. So you can get other example sentences on here, so you can expand your understanding of the usage and the vocabulary and context. But okay, so that would be talking about children or brothers and sisters. You can expand that. And getting on here, talking about people's names. So his name is, her name is. So just simply using like se llama. So this is like what somebody is called. So se llama and como se llama. So this is the same form for men and women. If you had to, I could say like se llama, like él se llama, or ella se llama, if the context was not clear. And lastly, talking about somebody's age, I could use él tiene 10 años, or ella tiene 20 años, and asking a question, ¿cuántos años tiene él? Or ¿cuántos años tiene? I could also use like a more formal one, ¿qué edad tiene? So what age? This one is like how many years, literally, but basically it means how old. This one, ¿qué edad, might be a little bit more formal. Like if I took my daughter to a pediatrician and they were asking specifically how many months, or so if it was not necessarily counting in full years, they might ask a question about the age. So, okay. Any questions you have about these structures that we've seen today?
No, everything is clear enough.
Yeah, so I would say, like, if you want to continue using these expressions and practicing them, like please leave a message below in this video, or a comment, and like and subscribe, and also feel free to share an example. Either describe a friend or somebody in your family, or even make up a character, or describe a character from a movie or a story, so you can practice some of these phrases and describing men and women in the he, she singular form. And I think next week we'll expand onto using this in the plural form, like they, so a group of people, so we can see those conjugations as well. And I will add these expressions and some of the notes below this video, so people can continue to practice with this and review material from the previous lessons on there as well. And so yeah, thank you for joining, and also thank you to people who have been watching. And I'll bring my picture back onto the screen so you can see me. And if there's other questions? Anything that you would further want to ask or know about for an upcoming lesson or more vocabulary?
No. Did you ask me?
Okay. Okay. And just on a personal note, I mean, I know you are learning Spanish in the Add1 challenge, and you've been doing that for how long has it started now? A month or a couple weeks?
More than a couple weeks, about 17 days ago.
Oh, okay. Can you tell us a little bit how that's been going?
Well, personally, to me, it's been going a little hard because my previous experience with learning English was quite different. I was learning from school, and it wasn't that intense like now. But this is a completely new experience, and I kind of have to get used to it. And once I get over this intense period, I think I could do better. And it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of getting used to this pace. So I'm trying to stay alive.
Okay. Do you think these phrases that we've been looking at so far can help you with your practice and your studies?
Yes, definitely they can help because they have certain aim, they have certain targets, and it's not that when you try to review some whole item of the grammar, it's just some I mean, some certain things that you have to know, and you can memorize them in this little amount as an information.
Yeah, I think if you learn a lot, some of these phrases in general, I think you can supplement them with more vocabulary and more practice because these are very frequent structures that do come up in the language and probably do come up in conversation as you start to talk about yourself and then talk about other people. I think at some point there's a limit on the things you know to talk about for yourself, and then you can kind of expand out talking about other people and then describing what they like to do or their interests, and then it gives you like an infinite number of people you could talk about for that. So okay.
Yes.
Well, so thank you for joining, and so good luck with your Spanish studies, and good luck in the Add1 challenge. I think it's a wonderful experience, and so yeah, we'll have more material next week. And,
okay.
Feel free to send me any messages or questions.
Okay, thank you for inviting.
Yeah, you're welcome. So have a good day, have a good week, and see you next time. Take care.
Bye.
So, hasta luego todos, and gracias por escuchar. So, chao.